Okay, so in the last lecture, we were talking about the data rate limits, that the performance of the data communication is dependent on the data rate. Who is there? Just mute yourself. Okay, and the data rates depend on three factors: bandwidth, level, and quality. Bandwidth means we can say that the difference between the highest and lowest frequency. The levels means the levels of the digital signals, and the quality means the levels of noise. If the signal has the higher level of noise, then we can say that our signal is poor. But if the level of noise is less, then we can say our signal is good. Okay. So to measure that data rate, the two theorems are designed. One is Nyquist theorem and second one is the Shannon capacity. The Nyquist theorem was designed for the noiseless channel, while the Shannon capacity was for the noisy channels. So as we have seen the noiseless channel, that is the Nyquist bitrate. Okay, the Nyquist bitrate has the formula that bitrate equal to 2 cross bandwidth cross log L base 2. Okay, so here B is your bandwidth. Okay, L is the number of levels, and the bitrate is the bits per second. Okay, so if we take the example, and then we have concluded that why the number of levels are 2 for digital signals, why the number of levels are 2. Okay, so the reason is, if the number of levels are higher, then the responsibility of the receiver is, we can say, going to be increased. The reason is, the receiver has to distinguish between the different number of levels. Okay, that's why in the real time we are following the digital signals with only two levels, that is either 0 or 1. Okay. We have taken this example that if we have the channel with a bandwidth 3000 hertz and the number of levels are 2, then you can calculate the bitrate using the Shannon capacity as 2 cross bandwidth cross log L base 2. So our bandwidth is 3000, number of levels are 2. Okay, so 2 cross 3000 cross log 2 base 2, that is the 6000 bps. Okay. If the number of levels are 4, then we can say that number of levels are 4, then log 4 base 2, that is the 2. So it is going to be double, that is the 12,000 bps. Okay. So we can say that if your number of levels are going to be increased, the bit rate are going to be increased. But the reason is we are following the only two levels to decrease the responsibility, or we can say to decrease the complexity at the receiver side. So I have assigned you this example that if you have a channel with 265 kbps and a bandwidth of 20 kilohertz, how many signal levels do we need? Okay. So we know the formula. Okay. We know the formula that our data rate, that is equal to 2 cross bandwidth cross 2 into B into log L base 2. Okay. So here the bandwidth is given and the we can say data rate is given. You need to find out the number of levels. Okay. What is notepad is visible? Notepad દેખાય છે બધાને?
No, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, can no?
No, sir. No, sir.
No, sir.
No, sir.
Okay. So is it visible now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So we have the given the data rate, that is the 265 kbps. Okay. So 265 kbps ને આપણે જો bits માં convert કરીએ, then 265 and 000. Okay. That is bits per second. We have given the bandwidth. Our bandwidth is, we can see here, that is 20 kilohertz. So also we need to convert this into the hertz. So 20,000 into formula, it is log L. We need to find out the number of levels. Okay. So you can say that log L, here log L is base 2, not a base 10. Okay. Log L is base 2. Okay. So that you need to consider. Okay. In the word, there is no facility to write down the base 2. So you need to consider that log L base 2 is also log L base 2. Okay? So this 30 will be cancelled and 265 divided by 4. Okay. So that is 265 divided by 4. That is, how much is that? 20,000. Okay, so 265 divided by 40. Okay, you need to consider the 265 divided by 40. Okay, 265 divided by 40, that is 6.625. Okay. So log L base 2 is 6.625 and L equal to, this L is base 2, log L is base 2, so L equal to 2 raised to, okay, 2 raised to 6.625. So you can say that L value is 2 raised to 6.625. So you can calculate in the calci that 2 raised to, okay, where is the, so we require a scientific calculator. For that we need to find out. Okay, so here we are considering that 2 raised to 6.625, that is 98.7. Okay, the number of levels are 98.7. Okay, but we have seen that the number of levels must be power of 2. Okay, number of levels can be either 2, 4, 8, okay, 16, 32. So here we are getting the value 98.7. That's why we require the number of levers, that is power of 2. Okay, so we need to consider the upper value. So here the upper value will be 2 raised to 6 is 64 and 2 raised to 7 is 128. Number of levels are 128. Okay, clear this example, or is it any doubt? ખબર પડી આ એક્ઝામ્પલમાં કે કઈ ડાઉટ છે? No reply. Okay, so we can say that the number of levels are 128. Okay, okay, now this is all about the, we can say, Shannon's capacity. Now we need to talk about the noisy channels. So we know that in reality we cannot have a noiseless channel. The channel is always noisy. તમે જે કઈ પણ channel use કરો, that is always noisy. Okay, that means always some extra data are going to be added. Okay, so in 1944 the Claude Shannon introduced a formula called the Shannon's capacity to determine the theoretical highest data rate for a noisy channel. Okay, sorry, this previous one was the Nyquist bit rate. Okay, and this one is the Shannon. Nyquist is for noiseless channel while the Shannon is for noisy channels. Okay, so for noisy channels the capacity is defined as, so the Shannon has decided that the capacity should not be dependent on the number of levels. Okay, so that's why the Shannon capacity is defined as bandwidth cross log 1 plus SNR base 2. Okay, so SNR is, we know that signal to noise ratio. Okay, if your SNR is higher, then we can say the bandwidth will be higher. Okay? So capacity is equal to the bandwidth cross log 1 plus SNR base 2. Okay, so in the Shannon capacity, your data rate or capacity is dependent on the signal to noise ratio. Okay? Let's take this example that consider an extremely noisy channel in which the value of the signal to noise ratio is almost 0. So in other words, the noise is so strong that the signal is faint. Okay, એવી એક channel છે કે જેમાં signal to noise ratio is almost 0. If the signal to noise ratio is almost 0, that means our noise power is greater than the signal power. Okay, our noise power is very much greater than the signal power. That's why we can say that signal to noise ratio is almost 0. So in other words, the noise is so strong that the signal is faint. So for this channel, the capacity is calculated as B log 1 plus SNR base 2. Okay. So that is equal to the B log 1 plus SNR value is 0. Okay. So B log 1 plus 0 base 2. So B log 1 base 2 and log 1 base 2 is 0. So that's why capacity is 0. So we can conclude that if we have the extremely noisy channels, then the capacity is almost 0. Okay. If the channel is extremely noisy, then signal to noise ratio is almost 0. Okay. And if we put this thing in this formula, then we can say that our capacity is 0. Okay. So that also we can conclude in the real time that કોઈ એવી ચેનલ હોય કે જેમાં ઘણો બધો નોઈઝ હોય તો આપણને જે કંઈ મોકલેલું હોય એમાંથી કંઈ નહીં મળે. Okay, that means everything is going to be lost. Okay, so same thing here. If we have the extremely noisy channel, then the capacity is 0. We can calculate the theoretical highest bit rate of a regular telephone line. આપણે જે regular telephone line use કરીએ છીએ, that has a bandwidth of 3000 hertz. Okay? So it has the range from 300 to 3300 hertz, but let's consider as 3000 hertz, that is assigned for data communication. The signal to noise ratio is usually 3162. Okay? So for this channel, the capacity is calculated as, so we know the formula that B log 1 plus SNR base 2. Okay? So bandwidth is 3000 log 1 plus our SNR is 3162 base 2. That is 3000 into log 3163 base 2. Okay? So log 3163 is 11.62. Okay, and if you multiply this with the 3000, then we have the rate that is 34860 bps. That is the bits per second. Okay, so if you have given the bandwidth and if you have given the SNR, then we can easily calculate the capacity. The signal to noise ratio is often given in decibels. Okay, so we have seen that when we have learned about the noise, okay, we know that the SNR is average signal power divided by the average noise power, and often it is given by decimal also. So the formula for decimal is, if you convert the SNR into the SNR decibel, then the formula is SNR decibel equal to 10 log SNR base 10. Okay, so if SNR dB equal to 10 log SNR base 10, okay, so you can say that the SNR equal to, okay, SNR equal to SNR dB divided by 10. Okay, and log SNR base 10, so SNR equal to 10 raised to SNR dB divided by 10. Okay, here we have the SNR decibel, here we have the normal SNR ratio. Okay, and the formula is SNR dB equal to 10 log SNR base 10. So given the decimal, you want to find out the normal SNR, then the formula will be SNR equal to 10 raised to SNR dB divided by 10. Okay, so SNR equal to 10 raised to, in SNR decibel the value is 36, so 10 raised to 36 divided by 10, that is 10 raised to 3.6, and the value is 3981. Okay, so given the SNR dB, your first step is you need to find out the SNR, normal SNR values. Okay, now we know the capacity, the formula for the capacity is B log 1 plus SNR base 2. Okay, so B log 1 plus SNR base 2. So bandwidth is, we know that 2 megahertz, that is 2 megahertz is 2 raised to 10 raised to 6 hertz into log 1 plus SNR base 2, that is 1 plus 3981 base 2, that is log 3982 base 2. Okay. So log 3982 has some values, that is multiply with 2 into 10 raised to 6. Okay, so that is equal to 24 into 10 raised to 6 bps, so we can say that the 24 mbps. Okay, so given the SNR in the decimal, the first step is you need to convert this value into the SNR, then you need to apply the SNR in the formula to get the capacity. Okay, so the thing is, in the real time we are using this both thing, that is the Shannon capacity as well the Nyquist data rate. Okay, the Shannon capacity will give you the capacity, while the Nyquist theorem will give you the number of levers. Okay, let's take this example that we have a channel with 1 megahertz bandwidth. Okay, we have a channel with 1 megahertz bandwidth. The SNR for this channel is 63. The SNR for this channel is 63. What are the appropriate bit rate and signal level? Okay, you have given the bandwidth, you have given the SNR, and you need to find out the bit rate and signal level. So we know the capacity, that is C equal to B log 1 plus SNR base 2. Okay, so the bandwidth is our 1 megahertz, so we can say that 10 is to 6 hertz log 1 plus SNR base 2, that is log 1 plus 63 base 2. So we can say that 10 is to 6 into log 64 base 2. Okay, so that is 2 raised to 6. Okay, so that is 6 into 10 is to 6 bps, or we can say that 6 mbps. Okay, so we got the capacity. Now we know the Shannon formula. That Shannon formula is saying that data rate equal to 2 cross bandwidth cross log L base 2. Okay. Now whatever we have got using this Nyquist capacity, that we need to use in this Shannon formula. Okay. So Shannon formula gives us 6 Mbps, the upper limit. So let's say we are choosing the 4 Mbps. Okay. Then we use the Nyquist formula to find the number of signal levels, that is 4 Mbps. Okay. So data rate equal to 2 cross bandwidth cross log L base 2. So we can say that 4 Mbps equal to 2 cross bandwidth is 1 megahertz cross into log L base 2. Okay. So that is equal to log L base 2 equal to the 2. Okay, log L base 2 equal to 2 and L equal to 2 raised to 2, that is L equal to 4. That's why we can say that the number of levels are 4. Okay, so capacity is 6 Mbps and the number of levels we require is 4. If you have the channel with 1 megahertz bandwidth and the SNR is 63. Okay. Clear this thing, or any doubt is there? Or again I will repeat this thing. Are you listening? Am I audible or not? Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
But are you getting that what we are doing? Doubt હોય તો પૂછતા જાઉં, પછી છેલ્લે પ્રોબ્લેમ થશે. ખબર પડી આ જે કર્યું તેમાં કઈ? Yes or no?
પડી ગઈ સર.
પડી ગઈ કે પછી આગળ?
ખબર પડી ગઈ.
Okay. Okay. So as per your request, okay, so we know that we have the two methods. One is the Nyquist theorem and second one is the Shannon capacity. Okay. Using this Nyquist theorem, we can calculate the capacity. Okay. If you have given the bandwidth and if you have given the SNR, then you can calculate the capacity. Okay. So first we need to find out the two things, that is bit rate and signal level. To calculate the bit rate, we are using the Shannon capacity, and to find out the signal level, we are using the to calculate the bit rate, we are using the Nyquist theorem, and to calculate the signal level, we are using the Shannon capacity. So first we apply the Nyquist theorem, that is saying that capacity equal to the B log 1 plus SNR base 2. So we know that bandwidth is 1 megahertz, that is 10 is to 6 hertz log 1 plus SNR. SNR is 63, that is 1 plus 63 base 2. So that is equal to 10 is to 6 log 64 base 2. Okay, that is log 2 raised to 6, and that is equal to 6. So 6 into 10 is to 6, so we can say that 6 Mbps. Okay, so this thing that we have got using the Nyquist theorem. Now આ કઈ જે પણ result આવ્યો છે, that we have to use in the Shannon capacity. We know that the Shannon formula is data rate equal to 2 cross bandwidth cross log L base 2. So now we know the capacity or data rate, that is 6 Mbps, but we have chosen the 4 Mbps equal to 2 into, let's say bandwidth is 1 megahertz that we have given, into log L base 2. So log L base 2 equal to the 2 and L equal to 4. Okay, so we can say that our bit rate is 6 Mbps and number of levels are 4. Okay. So this one is your exercise, okay, that you need to perform, and also at the end of the every module, okay, already you are giving the quiz, okay, but meanwhile one assignments are also there, okay. So if some examples or numericals are there, based on that an assignment will be created, and that also you need to upload the soft copy in your Google Classroom. Okay. So whenever such assignment will be there, I will inform you. Like at the end of this module 2, you have the two assignment, you have the two things that you need to do. One is you need to give quiz, as well as you need to submit this numerical assignment, in which the many numericals are there that you need to perform, and you need to submit the soft copy. Okay. So this one is the exercise in which the bandwidth is 4 megahertz and signal to noise ratio is 63. Okay, so same thing, like here we have the 1 megahertz, so here we have the 4 megahertz. SNR is also same, that is 63, and we need to calculate the bit rate and signal level. So here we can apply this thing, like your bandwidth is previously it is 1 megahertz, now it is the 4 megahertz. Okay? So 4 into 10 is to 6 log 1 plus 63 base 2. Okay? So 4 into 10 is to 6 log 64 base 2. That is, we can say that now it is 24 Mbps. Okay? So we need to use this 24 Mbps here. 24 Mbps equal to 2 into 4. 2 into 4 into log L base 2. Okay, so 24 Mbps equal to 2 into 4, that is 8. 24 equal to 8 into log L base 2. So we can say that log L base 2 equal to 48. So log L base 2 equal to 3 and L equal to the 8. Okay, so just perform this thing in your notebook so you can have an idea. So already this example is in your assignment. So whenever it will assign, you also need to perform, but if you want to practice, you can practice this time also. Okay. So we can say that the Shannon capacity gives us the upper limit, that what should be the data rate limit, and the Nyquist formula tells us how many signal levels we need. Okay. So in practice, we are using the combination of both, that is Shannon capacity to find the upper limit, and the Nyquist formula to find the number of signal levels. Okay, so this is all about the data rate. We have started with this Nyquist capacity and Shannon theorems, and then finally we have combined the both. The formula for Nyquist theorem is 2 cross bandwidth cross log L base 2. That is your, we can say that is the Nyquist theorem, that your data rate equal to 2 cross bandwidth cross log L base 2. And that is for the noiseless channel. For the noisy channel, we have the Shannon capacity, and the formula is B log 1 plus SNR base 2. Okay. So in real time, we are combining the both, that is combination of Nyquist theorem plus Shannon capacity. The Shannon capacity to find out the bit rate, that is the upper limit of your data rate, and we can say we are using the Shannon capacity to find the number of levels. The next topic is transmission modes. Okay, so in this module number 2, physical layers, only some small topics are there. So if already some exam will be on online mode, these small questions definitely will be there from this module number 2. Okay, so only some small theorems, or we can say the small topics are there. Okay. So for each topic there are some examples or some formulas are there that you need to remember. So transmission mode is transmission of binary data across a link, can be accomplished in either parallel or serial mode. Okay. We have also seen the transmission type, that is the we can say the type of transmission. It can be half duplex, full duplex, or simplex. This one is the transmission mode. Okay, so this transmission type indicate that how your data is flowed, like in which direction your data are going to be flow. While transmission mode indicate that how your data will be generated. Okay, whether it can be if we are at a time we are sending only one bit, or at a time we are combining the multiple bit. So that can be defined using the transmission mode. So we can say that transmission of binary data across the link can be accomplished in either parallel or serial mode. Okay. So in parallel mode, multiple bits are sent with each clock tick. So the meaning of clock tick is whenever if you are sending something, you need to consider a timer. Okay, that within this time limit, you need to send something. Okay. So whenever you are starting something, okay, then if the multiple bits are sent with each communication, then we can say that this one is the parallel mode. Okay, but in case of the serial mode, the one bit is sent with each clock tick. So while there is only one way to send parallel data, so in case of the parallel mode, there are no subtypes. But in case of the serial transmission, we can have a three different type of subclasses. That is the asynchronous transmission, synchronous transmission, and isosynchronous transmission. So here we can see the chart that data transmission can be parallel or serial. There is no subtype for the parallel, but for the serial, we can have asynchronous, synchronous, and isosynchronous. So first see the parallel transmission. So binary data consisting of ones and zeros may be organized into groups of n bits each and sent on the transmission medium. Use n vars to send n bits at one time. So in case of parallel transmission, if you want to send n bits at a time, then you require the n vars. That way, each bit has its own var, and all n bits of one group can be transmitted with each clock tick from one device to another. Let's say if you have the text character that are represented by ASCII values, and to represent the characters, we require the 8-bit. Okay? So if you want to send the 8-bit simultaneously, then you require the wire, you require the cable with, we can say, the 8 different wires, the cable with n different wires. Okay, so that's why, like in the twisted pair cable, you have seen that there are 8 different cables are there. Okay, like in the group of 2, the 8 different cables are there. Okay. So we can say that at a time we can send the 8 bits at a time. Okay, so same thing about the parallel transmission. You can see the figure that there is a sender and there is a receiver, and between there the 8 different wires are there. Okay, so on each wire we are sending the 1 bit. So we can say that at a time we can send the 8 bit. That is known as the parallel transmission, that at the time the multiple bits are sent from sender to the receiver, but each bit are sent onto the different wire. Like here the 8 bits are sent together. That is, let's say one character is sent from sender to the receiver. So एक character ने मोकलवा માટે we require the 8 different wires. એમાં પહેલા વાર પર પહેલું બીટ જાય, બીજા વાર પર બીજું બીટ જાય, ત્રીજા પર ત્રીજું, ચોથું, પાંચમું, છઠ્ઠું, સાતમું અને આઠમું, like that. Okay, so normally this type of communication we can see like આપણું keyboard થી monitor નું communication, in which such type of transmissions are going to be used. Okay. The advantage of parallel transmission is speed. Okay. All else being equal, parallel transmission can increase the transfer speed by a factor of n over serial transmission. You will see that in case of the serial transmission, we are sending the 1 bit at a time. Okay, so here at a time we are sending the 8 bit. Okay, so compared to the serial, we can say that our speed is increased to the 8 times. Okay, but there is a significant disadvantage, that is the cost. Okay, so parallel transmission requires the n communication lines just to transmit the data streams. For example, let's say at a time we need to send the 8 different bits, then we require the cable with 8 different wires. Okay, so costing of such cables are going to be increased. So we have the limited applications of this parallel transmission. Okay, so we can say that our keyboard to the monitor communication in your PC, okay, so that can be considered as a parallel transmission. Okay, if you cut any of these wires that you are using in the lab, okay, so it can be consist of the multiple wires. Okay, that cable consists of the multiple wires. That's why they are following the parallel transmission. That means at a time we are sending the multiple bits at a time. While in case of the serial transmission, the one bit follows another. Okay, so we require only the one communication channel rather than the N to transmit data between the two communication devices. Okay, we require only one wire through which we can send our data bit by bit. That is known as the serial transmission. In case of the serial transmission, at a time we are sending only one bit at a time, while in case of parallel transmission, we are sending the multiple bits at a time. So this can be known as the serial transmission. Okay, but for that we require one hardware that is known as the converter. Okay, so we know that our inside the laptop or inside the computer, okay, the communications that are going to be happen is the parallel transmission. Okay, જે આપણું લેપટોપની અંદર મધરબોર્ડમાં કોમ્યુનિકેશન થાય કે પછી પીસીમાં જે કોમ્યુનિકેશન થાય, that all type of communication is parallel transmission. Okay, લેપટોપની અંદર કે પછી ડિવાઇસની અંદર જે કંઈ પણ કોમ્યુનિકેશન થાય, that is all we can say that is parallel transmission. Okay, now આપણા ડિવાઇસથી ડેટા જ્યારે બહાર જાય, okay, so at that time if you are following the serial transmission, then we require one converter that is known as the parallel to serial converter at the sending side and the receiving side serial to parallel converter. Okay, so how these converters are going to be worked? So we can say it is a one type of memory that at a time it is collecting the n different bits, and one by one, okay, at each clock tick it is sending the one bit from this memory. So here the first bit is sent, then second bit, third bit, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. So the 8 bits are sent one after the another. But the advantage is we require only one wire through which we can send the one by one bit. So at the receiving side, we require the serial to parallel converter that can combine the multiple bits from this line and create the data for the parallel transmission. Okay. So this converter is connected with the parallel wires, and here is connected with the serial wires. Okay. So we require this parallel to serial converter at the sender side, and the receiving side we require the serial to parallel converter. So serial transmission reduce the cost of transmission over parallel by roughly a factor of n. પેલામાં આપણે 8 બીટને સેન્ડ કરવા હોય તો we require the 8 different wires. Okay, but if we are following the serial transmission, then we require only the single wire for all the communication. So since communication within the device is parallel, conversion devices are required at the interface between the sender and the line. Device ની અંદર જે communication છે તે આપણો parallel છે. That's why we require the parallel to serial converter and serial to parallel converter. So serial transmission occurs in 3 different ways, that is asynchronous, synchronous and isosynchronous. So what is asynchronous transmission? So the timing of a signal is unimportant. Information is received and translated by agreed upon patterns. Okay, so there is no fixed patterns for there is no fixed timing for sending the data. Okay, let's say the patterns are based on grouping the bit stream into the bytes. Let's say if you are following that our unit of transmission must be byte, our unit of transmission must be bytes. So what we are doing in the asynchronous transmission is we are grouping the 8 bits, okay, and then we are sending the one by one bit at a time. It's sent along the link as a unit. Okay, so that means whenever the sender has to send something, it will create a byte, or let's say we can create the group of 8 bit, and then it will send the one by one at a time. To alert the receiver to the arrival of a new group, therefore an extra bit is added to the beginning of each byte. So તમે ગમે ત્યારે ડેટા સેન્ડ કરી શકે, બટ તમે જ્યારે ડેટા મોકલતા હોય, at that time we need to inform the receiver that my data is coming. Okay, my data is coming and this one is the start bit and this one is the stop bit. Okay. So in the serial transmission, we know that there is a flow of 0 1 0 1 0 1 0 1 like that. Okay. But જ્યારે તમે ડેટા મોકલતા હોય, then we need to inform this receiver that this one is the start bit and this one is the stop bit. Okay. So in case of the asynchronous transmission, we are considering 0 as the start bit and we are considering the 1 as stop bit. Okay. So when in the beginning we are sending the 0, then the receiver can know that now the data is coming. Okay. Once the communication is completed and at last the number of ones are there, okay, so we can say that our transmission is completed and now this one is our stop bit. Let's take one example. So here in asynchronous transmission, we send one start bit at the beginning and one or more stop bit at the end of each byte. There may be a gap between bytes. Okay, so it may possible that when you send the one byte, જે બાઇટ મોકલવા માંગતા છે તમે એની શરૂઆતમાં 0 છે અને એન્ડમાં તમારા 1 છે. Then થોડા ટાઈમ પછી, so there is no time duration that આ ટાઈમે તમારે મોકલવાનું એવું કંઈ નહીં. જ્યારે સેન્ડર પાસે ડેટા આવી જાય ત્યારે then it will create the byte. In the starting it will add the 0, in the end it will add the 1 and then it will send the byte. Okay, one by one bit. So it may possible that there may be a gap between bytes. Okay, એક બાઇટ મોકલી દીધું, એના 1 સેકન્ડ પછી બીજું બાઇટ જાય. ઓકે, એના 5 સેકન્ડ પછી ત્રીજું બાઇટ જાય, એના 10 સેકન્ડ પછી ચોથું બાઇટ જાય, એના 2 સેકન્ડ પછી પાંચમું બાઇટ જાય. So the thing is timing of a signal is unimportant. Okay, asynchronous here means that asynchronous at the byte level, but the bits are still synchronized, their durations are the same. Okay, so it should be happen like for example, if we are creating the byte at the sending side, okay, but एक byte and बीजा byte वच्चे we can say the different timings are there. Okay, एक byte and बीजा byte ની વચ્ચે different times can be possible, but byte ની અંદર જે આપણા 8 bit છે, okay, that should be synchronized. That should be synchronized means that let's say if you have decided that after every 1 millisecond the one bit should be sent. Okay, so one byte ne complete કરવા માટે let's say we require the 8 second, so to complete the second byte also we require the 8 second, but the પહેલું byte છે અને બીજું byte છે, બે વચ્ચે આપણો we can say that different timing can be possible. Okay, but within the byte for each and every bit we require the same bit duration. Okay, so asynchronous means the asynchronous at the byte level, but the bits are still synchronized and their durations are the same. This is the example of asynchronous transmission. Okay, if you want to send the one byte that is consist of 8 bit, this is our original data. Okay, here we have the start bit that is 0 and end bit that is stop. Okay, and it may possible that there can be a gap between each and every byte. Let's say for example, the sender wants to send that PPSU to the receiver. There is a one sentence called PPSU that the sender wants to send to the receiver. So what the sender will do? The first task is sender will convert the P to the binary value. Okay, so the ASCII value of P, whatever is there, that is converted to the binary that is considered of 8 bit. Okay, and starting ma 0 lakse and ending ma 1 lakse, and that H will be sent from sender to the receiver. Okay, so H will be received by the receiver. Now P will be sent by sender to the receiver. એના પછી we need to send the second P, PPSU માં બીજો P મોકલવો છે. તો again sender perform the same procedure. P ને convert કરશે ASCII માં, ASCII નું binary માં, starting માં 0, ending માં 1, and second P પણ પહોંચી જાય. Third one is S again converted to the binary, starting માં 0, ending માં 1, and S is also sent. And same thing is about the U. But asynchronous means આપણે એક P મોકલી દીધો, એના પછી એવું નથી કે 1 સેકન્ડ પછી સેકન્ડ પી પણ મોકલી દેવાનો. ઓકે, તો એકવાર પી પહોંચી ગયો, એના 1 સેકન્ડ પછી બીજો પી જાય છે, અને 5 સેકન્ડ પછી એસ જાય છે, 10 સેકન્ડ પછી યુ જાય છે. That is known as the asynchronous transmission. So that is asynchronous at, we can say, the byte level. There may possibly different time duration between the bytes, but within the bytes, okay, this bit should be synchronized. Okay, આપણે P માટે જે પેટર્ન ડિસાઇડ કરી છે કે P માં આ જ પેટર્નમાં ડેટા જોવો જોઈએ આપણે, તો તે જ પેટર્નમાં આપણો ડેટા પહોંચવો જોઈએ. That is, we can say that synchronize at the byte level, but synchronize at bit level, but asynchronous at the byte level. The problem with the asynchronous transmission is it is slower due to the insertion of extra bits. Okay. As our data is size of 8 bit, but we can say that the total bits that we are sending is 10 bit. So that means for each character we are sending the 2 extra bits, and that will create the extra data within the channel. Okay, so we can say that the slower due to the insertion of extra bit, and also the responsibility of the sender and receivers are going to be increased. Okay, પહેલા તો 0 સ્ટાર્ટિંગ માં એડ કરવાનું, એન્ડિંગ માં 1 એડ કરવાનું, રિસીવર બાજુ એને રિમૂવ કરવાનું. So we can say that the responsibility of sender and receivers are also going to be increased. But attractive choice for situations such as low speed communication. For example, the connection of a keyboard to a computer is a natural application for asynchronous transmission. Okay, so the user types only one character at a time, types extremely slowly in data processing terms, and leaves unpredictable gaps of time between characters. Okay, so suppose there person che, okay, let's say my speed is very much slow and your speed is very much fast. Your typing speed is fast and my typing speed is slow. Okay, so if you are typing like hello, HELLO, so you can type this thing in fraction of seconds, while my speed is very much slow. So first I type H and then wait for some time, then I type E, then L, and then L and O. Okay, but the thing is, at the monitor side or at the receiving side, we are getting the same output, whether you are typing the fast or whether I am typing the slow. The output that the output that we are getting is the similar. Okay, that is about the asynchronous transmission, that it may possible that there is a gap between the 2 bytes. Okay, but it may possible that the output is our similar. So that is known as the asynchronous transmission. While in case of the synchronous transmission, the bit streams is combined into longer frames which may contain the multiple bytes. Okay, so here in case of the synchronous transmission, we are creating the frames, and each frames consist of the multiple bytes. Okay, in asynchronous at a time we can send only 1 byte, but here we can combine the multiple bytes to create a frame. Okay, in the synchronous transmission we send bits one after another without start or stop bits or gaps. Okay, but it is the responsibility of the receiver to group the bits into bytes for decoding purpose. Okay, so here the timing is very much important. The reason is, let's say કે જે તમારું standard બાજુ જે clock start થયું, okay, at the same time the receiver clock should be started. Okay, so suppose it may happen that in sender is sending like a 1 second ma sender send કરે છે 10 bytes. Okay, and receiver is able to process only 8 bytes, then your data are going to be lost. So in case of the synchronous transmission, the timing is very much important. Okay, because the accuracy of the received information is completely dependent on the ability of the receiving device to keep an accurate count of the bits as they come in. So એકવાર timer start થઈ ગયું, then receiver will start the counting. Okay, suppose we have decided that our frame consists of 3 bytes, that is 24 bits. Okay, જ્યાં સુધી 24 bits receive ના થાય ત્યાં સુધી તમારું receiverનું clock stop નહીં થાય. Okay, so if there is a problem with the sender clock, then it may possible that your data are going to be lost. That's why you can say that timing is very much important in this synchronous transmission. Okay, so here we have say that frame consists of multiple bytes. There is no start bit, there is no stop bit, and we are sending the frame. But here the timer is very much important. Okay, suppose જે time send થયું હોય, okay, so receiver નું timer પણ એ પ્રમાણે set થયેલું હોવું જોઈએ. Let's say we consist the frame of 24 bits, જ્યાં સુધી 24 bits ના receive થાય ત્યાં સુધી receiver નું કામ અટકવું ના જોઈએ, like that. So synchronous transmission is faster than asynchronous transmission. So it is more useful for high speed application such as the transmission of data from one computer to another. And byte synchronization is accomplished in the data link layer that we will see on the data link layer. Okay. So the synchronous transmission જ્યારે આપણું કોમ્પ્યુટર ટુ કોમ્પ્યુટરનું કનેક્શન હોય, કોમ્યુનિકેશન હોય, જ્યારે આપણે નેટવર્કમાં જ્યારે આપણે એક ડિવાઇસથી બીજા ડિવાઇસ પર ડેટા મોકલતા હોય, at that time we are using this synchronous transmission. Okay. But જ્યારે આપણું કીબોર્ડથી મોનિટરનું ટ્રાન્સમિશન છે, for that we are using the asynchronous transmission. So this is all about the asynchronous and synchronous. Okay. This one is the difference. Okay. So that we'll see in the next lecture, and then we will conclude. Okay.